Hey guys, Rami here with your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update for Tuesday, December 15th. Senator Joe Manchin, who is part of the bipartisan group of senators that put together the bipartisan stimulus bill, said that the $748 billion package will pass. He was interviewed this morning and said that we're not going home until it is done. This is an emergency relief package. It is strictly an emergency relief. It's not for long term. We have this package to get you through the most difficult, challenging times the first quarter of 2021. That's going to be the most difficult time because the vaccines won't be completely distributed at that time, maybe not until the second quarter of 2021, and it is rampant right now. So we've got to get people with a lifeline, make sure they have food, they have shelter, the basic necessities, and have an unemployment check to get them through the tough times. This is emergency bill and it will pass. At 7:48, it will pass. Those were his words. Then he talked a little bit about the $160 billion package. And in that interview, he was asked if they can get the $748 billion package before they go home. And then what about the $160 billion with state and local government funding? How are they going to go home before that one passes when it is needed for vaccine distribution? But we've answered this question many times before. The $748 billion package has $16 billion in it for vaccine distribution. So we don't need the $160 billion package for that. They can negotiate that one with the liability protections later. The good news here is that he said the bigger package has full support from all Republicans and Democrats, and it is truly a bipartisan effort. This is huge. This is very big. And by the way, Joe Manchin says some important things about the second stimulus check package at the end of that interview. But let's get to that after we talk about the new details of the $748 billion package that were released last night. There are some minor details in there that we didn't know before that are important. The biggest thing that most of you are interested in is unemployment money. The $300 per week will be in there for 16 weeks, which adds up to $4,800. The POA and PEUC will be extended for 16 weeks. Basically, all forms of unemployment assistance will be extended by 16 weeks. So that's very good news for all of you who are gig workers, contractors, or self-employed. In terms of small business help, the number is now $300 billion instead of $288, which will have PPP money and EIDL grants. You'll be able to get a second round of PPP money if your revenue was reduced by 30% compared to 2019. Not much details if there will be a second round of EIDL grants or they'll just reopen it for those who weren't able to get it the first time. Schools will get $82 billion. Transportation will get $45 billion. That's for airlines, buses, trains, and public transport. There's also $35 billion for healthcare providers. They also added $5 billion for mental health and addiction, which is a huge byproduct of this illness. The numbers of people suffering from mental health issues and addiction skyrocketed since March. Food aid went from $26 billion to $13 billion, so they cut this provision in half. There will be a 15% increase for SNAP for 4 months and more money for food banks, among other things. I guess we shouldn't worry much about the numbers, but more about what is actually included and covered. There will be $10 billion for childcare and $16 billion for vaccine distribution. So this is part of the $748 billion package and not in the state and local funding package. So if you hear in the media or reporters saying that state and local funding not passing will affect the vaccine distribution, just know it's misinformation. Whether it's intentional or not, it doesn't matter. Just know that the vaccine will get distributed. I mean, it's already being distributed all over the country right now, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. The bill will have $10 billion for broadband, $10 billion for the post office, and $10 billion for community lending. A very important part of the bill is $25 billion for rental assistance, and the eviction ban will be extended until the end of January 2021, and student loan forbearance will be extended until April 2021. Now, in terms of reactions to this bill, Senator Susan Collins said, "We've had a Christmas miracle in Washington. I want to thank my Democratic and Republican colleagues in the Senate for working so hard to bring us to this day." Mitch McConnell already said before, "What I recommend is we set aside liability and set aside state and local and pass those things that we can agree on." So I don't see him having problems with the $748 billion package. Same with the Democrats. I already told you yesterday that Steny Hoyer, the leader in the House, said we think state and local is important, and if we can get that, we want to get it. But we want to get aid out to the people who are really, really struggling and are at grave risk. So he'll take a deal without state and local to get the essentials done. That's what he said yesterday. Now, don't get me wrong, the state and local funding is very much needed to save 1.2 million jobs, but I believe they can come to an agreement on that sometime later. They already put some language in the state and local funding to prevent states from using that money for pension funds, and Republicans came down from 5 years of liability protections to about 2 years or so. So both sides are already compromising on both these things, but they're not there yet. This is all good news, and like Senator John Thune said, I think in the end it's trending in the right direction. I personally think so too, and I'd love to see that $748 billion package pass sometime this week. Senator Bernie Sanders, though, is very upset about that and still wants to see $1,200 checks. He said, what kind of negotiation is it when you go from $3.4 trillion to $188 billion in new money? That is not a negotiation, that is a collapse. So Joe Manchin responded to that saying, I get it, but all we're doing now is just an emergency package to give people a lifeline, and then when Joe Biden is in office next month, we'll work on an all-inclusive package. So it's pretty clear that this time around we'll not be getting any stimulus checks. The $916 billion package that had stimulus checks instead of unemployment money seems to be out of the window right now. So that's all the latest we have right now. Let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. Please hit the like button on the video, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the notifications bell to be notified whenever I publish new videos and new content for you. Also, make sure to check the link in the description below for the Yara savings account. It's a savings account that is FDIC insured but gives you interest with a lottery system. If you use the link below, you'll get 100 tickets when you deposit as little as $25 for a chance to win up to $10 million. Then you'll get a weekly ticket for every $25 that you deposit. I think this is the future of banking, as it encourages savings to earn more chances at winning a large prize. Also, don't forget to get your free stocks from Webull, potentially worth up to $1,600 when you deposit only $100, which is just like cash. You can take it out anytime you feel like it. All the links are in the description below. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.